And that is the reports of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York has they're launching their pilots program for central bank digital currencies. We knew it was coming. So, taking a little jaunt back, we've got back in March, if you remember, when Biden signed the executive order to study and prepare a central bank digital currency for the United States. Well, we've been waiting for something to happen. A couple months ago, I think like 2 months ago, I talked about how they announced a pilot program that was coming, but we had no information on it. We had no date or what they were going to be doing. Well, all of this is now starting to come to a head right now. Before that, what they have been testing is Project Cedar. Phase 1 of Project Cedar. That has been in testing and they have completed it. Now this gets interesting. Try and follow along with this. Guys, this is intense. This is intense, I'm telling you. Project Cedar had results of blockchain cross-border ledger transactions. So that's transactions across the blockchain across different countries. Basically, they've got those settled in under 15 seconds. So payment will transfer in under 15 seconds compared to days like they use now. They use the Atomic Settlement Ledger Network. Keep the word atomic ledger in your head after this podcast. This is a system that is popping up in all of the different central bank digital currencies that they've been using. Atomic ledger. Hang on to that. Whenever you see that pop up, you'll know exactly what they're doing. Atomic Settlement Ledger Network means both sides of the transactions will be completed simultaneously or not at all. So this is basically no risk, no fraud type of system. That was another result of it. Another result is Cedar's ledger system allows 24/7, 365 transactions between all financial institutions, including central banks and private sector banks. So this is confirming what we already knew, that it wasn't just going to be the big banks, it was going to be for all the smaller banks. Basically, play the central bank's game or close down. That's what they're working with on that. Now, again, I mentioned a couple months ago about how that was Project Cedar, just to make sure we know that we're separating. That has already been running. People really had no idea what was going on. I didn't know it was going on until the results were published. Now, we're at the point where they announced this Federal Reserve Bank of New York, their pilot program. The next step taking place is a 12-week pilot program with major banks, and it was announced November 15th, so it's already been going on. This was last Tuesday. Like I said, I wanted to talk about it, didn't have enough time. The banks include BNY Mellon, Citi, HSBC, MasterCard, PNC Bank, TD Bank, Truist, US Bank, and Wells Fargo. There's some other ones involved. I don't have their names exactly, but all the reports that I've seen it in multiple reports. There are other banks involved. They're just not named. Basically, tokens will be issued and used to settle wholesale transactions. We've seen this in other countries that they've been testing, where they're giving them these central bank digital currencies, and they're going to be testing the wholesale transaction. Remember, the wholesale is the bank to bank. Retail is for us to use. So this is the bank to bank stuff. So they've been testing the cross-border. Now they're testing in country. So they're getting this stuff ready to go for the United States. The next step on the ledger system will focus on technical, legal, and business over cross-border speed and access like Cedar. So basically what they're doing is all of the stuff that they've been testing with the cross-border transactions, they're now trying to test internally. They're trying to get the speed, they're trying to get the how it works for business, they're trying to get all the legal stuff, which yeah, that's a joke. Yeah, the legality of it, right. So they're testing all that for just the United States banks to go with it. So they're now in the process of getting it ready for here. So that's what they announced last Tuesday. Now, going back to Project Cedar, They tested Project Cedar Phase 1, and we just talked about the results of that. Now they are testing Project Cedar Phase 2. Okay. Hang with me, guys. I'm going to try and make this as easy to understand as possible because there's a lot of the mumbo-jumbo technical stuff that can get crazy. So I'm going to do my best. If you guys need something, please put it in the chat. I will do my best to explain it because I want you guys to know what is going on. Project Cedar Phase 2 is about hooking up with a system called Ubin Plus. Ubin, UBIN Plus. This connection will test... It's being tested and it's not being discussed. So they're getting all of this stuff connected to this Ubin Plus system, and they're not discussing it publicly like they announced the Federal Reserve. We have reports on it, but they're not actively discussing it. Basically, what Ubin Plus is it's a group that is overseen by a group called Hedera and Partior. Hedera and Partior. Partior or Partior? Partior. Now, these two groups, Hedera is a WEF partner and has a governing council from these different banks and corporations. Governing council from DBS. Pay attention to that company, DBS. Boeing, Chainlink Labs. That's the other one to pay attention to. So DBS and Chainlink. EDF, IBM, Deutsche Telekom, Google, FIS, Standard Bank, LG, Nomura, Shinhai Bank, UCL, Ubisoft, Swirlds, and others. This is the overall governing council. All these people in these corporations are overseeing Ubin, Hedera, all of that. Hedera creates blockchain crypto systems and smart contracts and handles tokens like NFTs. Those are your non-tangible stuff, like things in the metaverse and all of that. So they handle, it's all blockchain crypto, smart contracts, and handles tokens like NFTs. Now, if you're like me, you were like, what is a smart contract? I had no idea what it was, but luckily I found a video from not too long ago of a man at the IMF conference who discussed what it is. I'm going to let him tell you what smart contract is.
The third way we think CBDC can improve financial inclusion is through what we call programmability. That is, CBDC can allow government agencies and private sector players to program, to create smart contracts, to allow targeted policy functions. For example, welfare payment. For example, consumption coupon. For example, food stamp. By programming CBDC, those money can be precisely targeted for what kind of people can own and what kind of use this money can be utilized. For example, for food. So this potential programmability can help government agencies to precisely target their support to those people who need support. So that way can also improve financial inclusion. Of course, I want to end with a caveat because CBDC is not a panacea. CBDC cannot solve every challenge in financial inclusion. There are some aspects of financial inclusion is not related to technology. For example, financial literacy, digital literacy. So CBDC has to work with other policies together to try to improve financial inclusion. I stop here.
So, a smart contract is the programmability and the determination of who gets what type of money and how they can use it. That's what a smart contract is. So we knew what a smart contract was before, but we didn't know what they were calling it. That's what that stands for. So basically it's the programmability and the how the person can use it and what they can use it for. That's what a smart contract is. So this Hedera, who is working with Partior on this Ubin project, basically creates smart contracts using blockchain crypto. That's what Hedera is using, and it's overseen by all these groups, including DBS and Chainlink. Remember, keep that in mind. Now, Partior, the person that they're working with on this Ubin project, is a cross-border interbank payment system invested in by JB Morgan and DBS. So you've got DBS that is involved with both Hedera and Partior, and they're both working on Ubin, and Ubin is now being worked on connected to Project Cedar, which the United States is using. You guys following along now? Hopefully I didn't lose you guys. I'm trying my best to make sure this all is cohesive and understandable. Now, Partior is connected to 20 countries because they've been focusing on the cross-border stuff. So you've got Hedera, who focuses on the contracts and the blockchain crypto and the NFTs. Then you've got Partior that works on the cross-border stuff to 20 different countries. Australia, China, Hong Kong, Netherlands, Singapore, Thailand, United States, Bahrain, France, India, New Zealand, Sweden, UAE, Vietnam, Canada, Germany, Japan, Philippines, Taiwan, and the UK. Those are all the ones that are involved with Partior. They're connected to all those. Those are all the central banks of those countries. All right, so those are the two groups that are working on Ubin, which the United States is using with Project Cedar. Now, I told you about DBS. Now, Chainlink system. Here we go. This is what's important about this. Ubin Plus uses the Chainlink system, which is the same program that Swift is using for their sandbox program. I talked about this months ago, how Swift was working on the sandbox program for cross-border crypto central bank digital currency transfers. So Ubin is using Chainlink system, the same thing that Swift is using. Swift Sandbox is working with 17 central banks and commercial banks to test here it is again, the Atomic Ledger cross-border system. You see how all of this is all connected using the same programs? Here it is. Just like the Federal Reserve New York is using with Cedar, Project Cedar. The Atomic Ledger cross-border platform, Ubin, and Chainlink system are being used with all the central banks, with all the projects that they're using. They're using the same systems. Doesn't stop there. Oh yeah, I'm about to ruin the Bitcoin boys' days right here. What brings this all together is the Chainlink system. The Chainlink system facilitates the entire crypto industry, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. The two coins that everybody says is separate from crypto. They said, nah, crypto, those are garbage coins. They can just go away. They mean nothing. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two coins. They're actually something. Chainlink, which processes the crypto systems, also is used for Bitcoin and Ethereum. The two big digital currencies that people say can save crypto in the economy and create a free market cannot work without Chainlink. Chainlink is the same thing that is used for crypto, and it's the same thing being used on Project Ubin Plus. The very same system being used to bring in the central bank digital currencies is partnered with the WEF and groups like Hedera and Partior. So your Bitcoin saves this, does not. It's on the same exact platform that the central bank digital currencies are coming into. If that's not confirmation enough, if you ever look into who created Bitcoin, nobody has any idea. It could be one man, it could be a group of people. It goes by some random name, Satoshi something. Nobody has a clue who created Bitcoin. I've got an idea because it's using the same thing, Chainlink. So, Project Ubin plus Chainlink, Atomic Ledger. When you start seeing those things, you now know exactly what they're connected to.